So, hi there. Now I have the Kabbalah and Torah. I think I've used this image before actually, but I will use it again, talking about dimensions. Oh, I'm a little bit exhausted. Actually, yesterday it was kind of a lot. Maybe I will actually upload these latest videos quickly for a day or so. Those who are really intently interested in my videos can listen to them. Otherwise, or whatever you do, download them. Maybe, I don't know what you do. And then maybe just private them or something, and start over new kind of later, talking about something focused rather than doing these rambly ones. I think maybe I will. We will see how far I go. Today it's hot, but it's really cold out, but I'm really warm. And anyways, yesterday I met these, it's something called Pachamama School in Peru. And I met, you can Google Mama Zelmira. I met this little shaman from the Amazon. She had been a shaman there for 60 years, and meanwhile I waited. That was also really interesting because she had been doing workshops and other things here, ceremonies and so on. And this day, without knowing so, are the times when we had booked our for sessions, private sessions with her, collided sort of. No, they didn't collide, but they were like after each other with two, or actually it was one I knew that I would wait for, so I had time to sit and talk to Richard's son Rodriguez, and he explained a lot, and you can ask him things. He had so much knowledge, even this young kid or youth, and so it was really interesting. And then also a friend of mine whom I've known since I was 13-14, we reconnected quite recently again. We have had contact at a distance, but we hadn't like met and so on for many years, and so we are at the same path, sort of. I realized that when we were talking, she was a little bit more into dispensa and so on at the time. I'm not. I mean, I am intrigued by certain of those, or I listened into it a bit, and I realized that much of the thinking we have are similar, although that didn't capture me as much as it did for her then. But then again, she more and more found something in this shaman path that I'm on, and also through Ayurveda and so on. And so she and her friend was there this same day now. So we met, and they were sitting there and staying. Meanwhile, I was in there, and it was this they could have booked that any other day, or I was just really happy how that turned out. Not only that was a minor part of that day yesterday, but it was like overwhelming in a calm way, if you say. Oh, I wish I had the door open now, because I need oxygen, I feel, and maybe I should go. I can pause and actually open it. I will do that for a moment. Wait a sec. So there we go. Now I have some oxygen. And this mouse isn't working. My mouse isn't working. It's like I don't know, the batteries. Maybe you need some special one. I don't know what's wrong with this one. What's wrong? Now it works. I don't know. We will see. If you sit at a distance, then to turn it on. Never mind. Yeah. So, anyways, I went there, and By the way, this image here, I just have it up like a representation of dimensions, because I will go into that a bit. But there are many various ones than this, of course. But and also I'm not like taught in Kabbalah a lot. I've used some spreads and I know very briefly and so, and I think it's beautiful. Yeah, anyways, this Mama Samira, she did a shamanic session where she, I mean, that was absolutely awesome, and it feels very holy to me. So I've shared parts of it with a few individuals, those that were there, and some other one who really was interested in how I felt about it and so. But I just feel part of me wants to share here everything what she said and everything, because it's very, very beautiful. But at the same time, I feel it's very close to my heart. So yeah, no, I don't want to do that really. But it was a great experience. Little bit, I was actually, I would be totally calm doing ayahuasca with that woman. She was so sweet, awesome. I think she works with that generally also back in Amazon. Or if you do journeys over there, I don't mean inner journeys now, then probably also. I haven't read that in there, but I mean she's educated in that, I'm sure. Since long back. But yeah, it was just a very wonderful experience, and at least the one I went with experienced it the same. Yeah. So I won't talk more about that, but so today anyways, I have these, I try to process the things that I experienced, and the communication, she communicated way more with, she said some words of course, but she had so much communication through her little eyes and her presence just, and also those who worked with her there as organizing things, and so they were really sweet also. Yeah. So, but anyways, I feel like this is sort of life-changing, but I haven't had the opportunity to really let it sink in yet, fully. I feel that. But talking here make me like do that a bit, I think, also more. But it was very special. Very, very special, and very surprising to me. The connection also that I felt with her. Yeah. Fascinating little lady. And I also interpreted to someone else he interpreted her, this Richard. And then there was someone who is not so familiar with English. He translated into English then. And so we spoke English with him. And so I translated from Swedish to English, and so a little bit to one there. And she had such a brilliant focus. She really didn't, I mean, she saw me as well when I was doing that, but she was really tuned in, very like absolutely totally on the person she was going to heal. That was absolutely awesome to see as well as her, you could come with a question or something you wanted help with, and so and the beauty of her seeing totally through without words, I'm sure. She fully saw through what was needed, and she said it in very, it was not like, it was so far from psychology, I could say, but I mean, she just said in a few words how she saw the energy system and so and whatever, and then connected to whatever and whenever. I mean, maybe she said different things to me. She didn't say that, but I heard that in another occasion then, and I just. She was so spot on. I mean, you knew she knew exactly what was needed, and oh, what an awesome little lady. As I said, I'm still processing this. Very, very beautiful. She just skipped this whole, you know, the way we work here, getting more and more entangled in our problems sometimes, and me not the least here on YouTube, talking a lot about those things. So beautiful, and oh wow, so beautiful. I really feel that she changed my life. I can say that, but it took a while. Yesterday I was really like a little bit upside down in a positive way, and not like scary, not like I lost touch with reality or anything like that, but more like it was a lot of impressions, and I needed kind of pause or I needed time or something to just let it sink in fully. And the gift she gave me, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And yeah, I almost get teary-eyed when I think about it. Yeah. And very unexpected. It was very unexpected. Yeah. I will really cherish that moment and that time that I spent with her in my heart forever. And how beautiful I don't know her exact age, but I know that she must be at least like maybe closer to 80 or something, I guess. And not by the looks, because of the story that I heard when she was allowed to start training as a shaman and so on and so forth. I realized she had worked as a shaman 60 years, so and so on. So I can figure a little bit maybe she's older, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, such a beautiful little lady. And that you just kind of fell in love with her. She was just, really such a wonderful being. Yeah. And yeah, how you can be that, how you can have that inner beauty, no matter what, like, yeah. She looks exactly as when you look at those pictures of her. And she's really small. But she, in her physical appearance, let's say. But her energy is so strong, and she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. And her eyes. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. I just love her so much. So beautiful. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so I won't share exact things about that, but yeah, I feel it have changed me forever, actually, which is awesome in a beautiful way. So let's see now. I will talk about. Oh no, I can't reach the luckily it's some sunshine. I need to get irritated now. Wait a second, you may hear this. Sorry, I had to move the lamp here, and I didn't since this other one, I'm sorry, this other one stops working. I don't want to the mouse, I didn't want to stop it and then have to turn it on because of that. So now I'm ready. Oh gosh, I forgot that. Why do I have that on? Now I remember. this egg clock. Oh, never mind that. I was done with that. So about other dimensions and so, you can use your clairvoyance to reach or to connect with other dimensions. So there you can do it through, so in so many ways. For example, in her tradition, this Icaros songs, healing songs. But anyways, I won't go back to talking about her now. Anyways, so, but through meditations and so on. And also past lives and so on, if you think of it in that way. And I mentioned in some previous video about this dark mirror where you can meet protective spirits or wise ancestors, like a portal into the astral or the spiritual kingdoms. And also about clairaudience and psychometry I talked about, and how to tune into sounds and people and visions from the past. And all these tools or techniques that I've talked about before, you can use that also in scrying into water and so on, or at a distance. To travel in time, to go backward into the past worlds or lives, as well as go forward into the future. Oh, I want to go to Peru now. Really, oh. And I can't stop talking about that now. I am. But, they were so absolutely not commercialized, these individuals, although they sold a few things and they charged something for this session that was invaluable. It was beyond value, like many of these spiritual things are. How could you just put a value in? It's, you can't measure it. So, but there is still a sort of a price tag to it. But they really stress the fact that it's not commercialized. It's not a business to them. And I so much love that. Anyways. Yeah. And you can also tune in to hear your ancestors or get a glimpse of their world. And also the energies of, let's say, supernatural beings, or protective angels or archangels or guardians of waters or the land or so on, when you work outdoors. And also dreams. I also got several messages tonight after being there, additional messages that told me some exact things that also will change my path in my life very much. That were messages from her. And I can almost not think of her without getting teary-eyed, because how can I say this also? It's a very special experience, especially if you have been misunderstood quite a lot. Then when someone really sees you, and they do, it was obvious that she easily see quickly, how things are, and who I am. I've said this before when I talked with you, that to be in contact with the spirit world is very not scary, because they see you. There's less misunderstandings than with people. So I feel very comfortable with spirits, as well as this little woman. because she sees what is there. She sees who you truly are, and that's really relaxing and really. It's also surprising when you're very used to not be seen in a way, or projected a lot of strange things towards, and so that's amazing in itself. Yeah, I don't know how I got into that, but yeah. But anyways, when you scry, you may also get an additional insights in dreams. I get a lot of messages in dreams. Yeah. So, those psychic dreams or clairvoyant contact with angels or guides or ancestors, and also basic mediumship abilities and so on. Yeah, I will talk about that a bit. Also, those who really already work as mediums and clairvoyants, how you could work on increasing your powers, let's say, or your abilities in these areas, especially where you may have not had so, because we used to tune into a certain frequency easier, and maybe not so easy with other realms. So maybe to help working with, if we want to contact or communicate with realms that we aren't used to as much. So yeah. So, and also it's about what your psyche is ready for and where you are in what phase you're in your development. So okay, I think actually talking about ASMR, I think Mariah sometime, many have done this gentle whispering here, ASMR, have done this sometimes. Usually this is done like a ploy then, or play like not for real by some. I don't know how she did it, but I think she have done this. I recall I saw a long time ago. I don't know if it's up still, but she had like wax from candles. Maybe from candles. I think you can have it in various ways, but on top of water then that gets hardened and creates shapes. So so you can do that. I think she did it that way as well. You let it drip from a candle, wax onto the surface of the water, and that is one of the most magical ways to reach other dimensions in a very physical way, you could say, or materialistic way, maybe you could say, that you can actually see and so on. And to do that, keep your background light soft, especially you can choose like afternoon, or you can also experience with different environments and times, and as long as it's not direct sunshine on the surface of the water. And you can also decide yourself what you want to be showed. For example, for example, if you want to see an image of your guardian angel, a spiritual guide, an ancestor, or a past world, or so on. But it's more intriguing, and so to leave it open and ask to see what's right for you. And you can use ceramic bowl with lightly colored, or a glass bowl. It should be like the size of a muesli or dessert bowl. We can also preferably then use a darker colored candle, deep blue or red, for example. And it's very important that those candles are the colors go through them, so they aren't just, it's just not patched on top of a white candle. So so it's through the whole candle. So you fill the bowl half with water. You lit the candle and put it on the side of the bowl, and you ask for protection and wisdom from whomever that you feel is your source of wisdom right now, and also from protection from those who guard the gateways of time, or portals of time, you can say. And then move your eyes slowly from the flame in the candle to the surface of the water and back and forth several times, without looking for something special or images or so, but just to build a connection between fire and water. And then pick up the candle and very slowly start to drip this wax, one drop at a time, onto the surface of the water, so that it will swirl around and take shape, and it will be a strong colored image on the surface and in your mind as well. And you may hear a message from your angel or guardian in the form of knowledge from the past, or an answer to your questions. So also back to this whole Icarus. The Sami people with yoik, I just feel like I need to yoik like for an hour a day now or something. I get totally connected to this the healing of sounds and songs now, and I realized that was what they were doing before it got banned and they had to hide and everything. So yeah. It was similar. It sounds very different though, but it's the purpose and the efficiency and effect of it, I gather, is the same. And since I have that in my ancestry, I really would like to pick that up instead of the Amazon songs. So okay. So then you let this wax harden, and when it is formed and floating, then gently lift it from the wax from the surface of the water and put it on a ceramic or wooden surface to dry. It will take a distinct form. I mean, it could be like a dragon, goddess, angels, animals, birds, and sometimes a key or a portal or a heart. The shape may be an angel if you ask to get in touch with one, but it doesn't have to be. It could be another image that the angel wanted to have then. So gently wrap this wax amulet in a piece of fabric or wax paper when it's dry, and you can focus on it before you fall asleep, and when you start to work with past lives or perform other dimensional work. You can also have it on your table during a consultation with a client to give you protection and power, on strength, and also. And when it eventually break, you will need a new symbol then. Another method is, when you want to work with past lives, is to make a portal in wax in the water and look into that. And you can also use wax on water to get a special answer. An answer on special questions that you have or that someone else have. And she or he then may drop the wax in a larger bowl of water placed in between you, and you both can interpret what it means, considering what the question was that was asked. So if you ask questions, clean the bowl between the images. But even then, you should create at the most 2 or 3 at the most, 3 symbols at the most. It will be enough to make you understand the importance of the message that you have received. So, and the other person can then take those hardened wax images home to store them and keep them as amulets. And when it comes to past lives, then I wonder how much I should go into. Are you really interested in this? Yeah, I will go into a few things more. There are many ways to develop the memories from past life, if you then, however you call it. Some people say that it's not very important whether or not it's really past lives. I mean, personally, I have tuned into a few. I guess Jeanne d'Arc is the strongest one. It was before I knew much at all about her history, not consciously anyway. And I had many. It was like I don't remember how many years this was. It was maybe 92. No, I mean 2002 or something. And no, maybe a little later, 3. I'm not. Yeah, maybe 3 actually. 2003. I wrote down stuff that I saw, and it was correct when I checked it up later. It really correlates exactly with some of the things that are known, and which I didn't know that I knew if I knew, and so, but I don't say that was my life. But I mean, how many have thought they were her? Probably lots. But I do think this, that I've thought about, and I have mentioned this before to you, that if there is someone who have a really strong intent, very strong focus, direction and ambition and so on, that is so strong so you can probably pick it up quite easily. I mean, she wants her, I guess, her energy or her... she was really fiery, let's say, in her wish to share what she did and so on. And I guess that, I mean, that soul or that intention that she had as, what is her, Joan of Arc, you say sometimes, right? Anyways, I guess that goes, I mean, that can linger for quite a while. As I also mentioned, there is an author up here, Sarah Lidman. I should read a book by her. I haven't. Sorry, Sarah. But I have been several times to her little village. I know people who grew up and were born there. Actually, I mentioned about my... she's an author, by the way, if you don't know, a Swedish one. My day, she was taking care of us when I was a kid. My neighbor, a lovely, wonderful woman. She grew up there in Missentrask, this little tiny village where Sarah come from. And it's like not many houses, it's very small. Anyway, so I don't know how I feel this connection with her. As I said, I haven't read any books by her, but after she passed, I don't even know what year that was now, but that coming year, I think it was most strong, first year or 2 years after or so, I got all these impulses about books I had to read. Okay, I need to drink a little bit of water. And that was not my books. It was really she giving me what they was going to be called and what they were going to be about and everything. And it was so clear it was her. She had so much more to share and write and everything. So So they like her spirit kept trying to get that out, getting it through into this world, the creations which she wanted to give birth to through someone who could pick it up, I didn't, though. I had other things to do, obviously. I had it in mind to actually start reading as a medium, like channeling a book by her. I didn't, though. But and it faded away. Maybe she picked someone else she could talk through or write through, or maybe she just went on with other things. I don't know. But that is what I think sometimes is the case, that it's not easy, because when you as a medium tune into someone, it's different how you can see it. You can see it from the outside and everything. And that's also how you can sometimes view it when you do regressions to past life. And so even if it's so-called your own past life, you can see it from outside. So, but you can also see it from within when it's not yours. I mean, if I tune into someone and see things in their lives, I most likely would see it through their eyes. I would see it as if I was them, or feel it as if I was them, as well as when I feel other people's pain in my body and so on. So it's not easy to know that for a fact. But what I think, and what many people say who work specialized with past lives, is that it reflects something. It's not that you actually need to resolve something in the past life. It's rather that it's the past life that will be shown to you will reflect something that is going on in your life right now. And sometimes with that perspective, it's easier to see what needs to be done, or to or get an insight that heals that issue or what it is. So whether or not it's like yours, whether it's even fantasy, or if it would be, or imagination, or if it is someone else's, the reflection and the insights you may need and so on may be as potent and important and healing as if it was your past life anyway. So I'm not sure it really matters all that much. But anyways, past lives. There are many ways to develop this then, both with yourself and others. And there are many theories about the source to these memories, and also the nature of past lives and so on, obviously. Controversy, I guess. So, and some people are convinced that we have lived before many times, and those memories can... that kids could have up until like 7 or so, or all over the world. That's like amazing. So, and also there are those who remember future lives. I read this Connolly, I think the name was. One was called My Future Lives, but one was my children in my past life or something. I don't remember. It was like the first, I think my mom had it, and it was the first, I guess it was the first book I read about even connecting to that kind of things. I was not old, I was maybe a teenager when I read it. I don't remember exactly. But this woman, maybe a little older, I don't know. Yeah, well anyways, never mind. She wrote this book about, and she had pictures and everything in that book, and how she recall how she passed away quite young and had small, I think she had small children. I'm kind of make this up now, I'm sorry. It was a long time since I read it. But let's say it was like that but she died anyways, and she had these kids, obviously, because she remembered their names and how they were and everything and so on. And she decided to search for them, and when she found them, because she kind of knew what sort of what years around it could have been, where her memories were played out then. So she thought maybe she can figure out if they exist. I mean, she started to search around, and then she actually met. I guess she met a couple of them at least, as I remember. They were around 80 then and so on, and she was not all that, maybe 30, 40. I don't know how old she was then. No, I don't know. No. Wasn't she younger then, even? Maybe 20? No, I don't know her age now. Yeah, well, I don't know, actually. Maybe actually, because she died very young then. So maybe she was a little bit older. Yeah. But anyways, she met them and she had a picture with herself with them, and everything just fitted. They could confirm certain stories that she remembered from. I mean, so she kind of found her kids from her previous life. That's like, yeah. I mean, I can't confirm that it's true, but it was fascinating to read about anyways. Yeah, so some people also believe that we can connect with ancestors who have lived past lives and so on. It's not easy to know, as I said. But we also connect stronger to ancestors with similar personalities or circumstances in life and so on, or those who experienced similar choices or dilemmas, or although it was in different times. And another thing I have recognized when it comes to the spirit world, they are very, very fond of things like dates. One of my ancestral guides is born at the same date, the same date and month, obviously not same year, but it really has some impact for them. They talk about that sometimes, when they come through. It was some time. My aunt that have passed came through and talked about 4 of us closely related that were linked to a certain date, or it was a month or something, and we recognized who these 4 was then. I didn't know. I had no clue. Whatever my cousin, which one was her son, then connected to that, and so they really put emphasis on that. It seems like spirits do that somehow. So it really have an impact if you carry a name, even if it's like a second name or so by an ancestor, and also if you were born at the same date, and so you have a stronger connection. I don't know. Really, but nothing is random in this world. At least that's my experience. So, yeah. And there are other theories that we get in touch with those Akashic records or collective experiences that others have had in the past and at other places and so on. So we re-experience it as if it was our own. Like as if we watched a TV show or something about a person's life and personality that is similar to ours. So that we don't have to make the same mistakes that person did. But it's like we tune into those collective archives. So, there are also those who think that past lives are more like symbols, more like psychology there, how we look at ourselves as persons and what might happen in the future then, and so. But whatever the explanation is, many people have spontaneous dreams about past worlds and past lives and so on that can reoccur and come back over and over for months or even years. Or when they come to a certain place, for example, the other side of the Earth or so on, it looks exactly as they saw in detail in a dream and such. But I mean, also I can do this remote viewing, or I did at least before. I have the ability, I know that, but I haven't practiced it very much though. But I mean, you tune into the things that are more interesting to work with, but I could clearly do that. And so I think that could also work into this. Yeah. Yeah. And also, actually, in this mistrust, this little. When we went there one time, when I was a kid, I had that experience. Because I remember that road. Maybe I lived there some other. I don't know. Or maybe I just tuned into her already then, but she was alive then. Or her. I don't know. Anyways, or maybe my ancestors, they are from around these areas, probably back in time as well. But anyways, we went there, and I looked at the, what was it now? Left side of the road. I mean, it was before we reached there, but when we went up there. And I just remembered seeing a lake there. I wonder, where is the lake? And then I heard that there had been, I said that because I remember I went here and there should be a lake there. And they said, no, it's not. They didn't care what I said much. But then I heard that there actually had been a lake there, maybe like 100 years ago. It was, so that happened. And once also when I was visiting my relatives in Sundsvall and my uncle, Bill, we went looking at these, for whatever reason, when they were growing like salmon and stuff. The only time I've been to something like that. But the whole area around, it was more like I think it was more like a, what is it called now, deja vu sense. It felt like the whole situation, what people said and everything. I felt like I knew exactly what they were going to say because I knew. I mean, the moment they said something, I had heard exactly this conversation before and everything, and seen this place exactly. And before we went around some corner or something, I knew exactly what was going to be there. So, yeah. But I'm not very used to experience that, though. Okay. Then, to explore past worlds, there are various ways anyways to do that, to discover and remember past lives. We call them past lives now, whatever explanation there will be for it. And hypnosis is one very common way to do if you are properly trained or qualified, and because it can be harmful. So it's efficient and simple to, by yourself or with someone's help, to go into trance and from there remember your past lives then. So if you haven't experienced this yourself, maybe you shouldn't go on trying to practice it with someone else. If you aren't pretty experienced, probably if you were really educated in it. So, yeah, I have great respect for these things. I think because of the psychosis that I talked about that I had for many years, although related to drugs, I still know our psyches can be fragile and we don't even know beforehand. So yeah, I would always try to take care. And if people have done it before, that's a different story also. I know that there are several times I've done some brief thing here, but also that I hesitate because I can't be there. I can't see the person. I mean, you need to kind of do that. When you do something like that, you need to look into their eyes, see what happens with them during the process. It's like you tune into almost their pulse or their breath and their being. So you know where they are, so you can guide them better. And so it's, yeah, I wouldn't want anyone who weren't up for it to come across a video with that, although they are out there and I love to listen to them. And it's everyone have their own responsibility what to do like that, but I appreciate them. I don't say they're doing something wrong. I just feel hesitant myself to do that. And also, yeah, as I said, if someone have been doing this for many times themselves or with others, then I would feel also pretty relaxed in taking on something like that. But yeah. Anyways, so what you can do to plan this, you can create your own spiritual path into the past in advance, like a series of stages, and you can think of it as like walking into a crystal cave, or you can find a portal in an old temple, or you can have various numbers of rooms in a row in an old building that lead like through doors one after the other, and eventually you come out in this old garden, for example, or you can go into portal of light, or in the colors of the rainbow that shines in between two enormous trees, or the largest stones in an old stone circle, or you can follow a butterfly or an animal alongside a path that leads through forest, for example, or a tunnel where the walls glitter of light and crystals that leads to a point of light that gets larger and larger and larger and shines brighter and brighter. Or you can float in a boat also along with a river, or if you're alone also, maybe you could then use keywords for each step that you can learn you can memorize, so you don't have to look in a book or focus on a candle in front of you or so on, or see this journey for your inner eye. I like to do that though, even if I don't have something on. If I listen to this, I can go. Usually I don't even I have this skepticism to be brainwashed kind of, so I never obey. I always do other things you shouldn't. I wouldn't recommend that, but I do that as precaution, because I know there are also manipulation going on in those worlds, so to speak, or by people also. And so if I do that, I always do something else. I never follow what they say or the recommendation. I could at one time or another, but usually I do my own thing, but I listen, but I don't follow. But as I said, I really don't recommend that. That's how I do, because I don't want to be influenced too much by others' form of thought systems or whatever they prepare to mold my mind with, so but I'm also skeptical when I use the tarot cards in the same ways, because it's created by someone with a certain intent or a certain worldview, so you really have to make them your own also, although you can be aware of what their purpose is. Oh, what's happening here?